Education Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Action of running water. Running water is one of the most important agents of denudation. Rivers are involved in erosion, transportation, and deposition of materials. Terms associated with rivers. The following are terms associated with rivers. 1. Source of a river. 2. Course of a river. 3. Mouth of a river. 4. River basin. 5. Watershed or water divide. 6. River regime. 7. Confluence of a river. 8. Tributaries. 9. Distributaries. 10. River energies. The source of a river refers to where a river starts or begins, usually around highlands. The course of a river refers to the path or channel through which a river flows. The mouth of a river refers to where the river ends or where it enters into the sea, ocean, or lake. The river basin refers to all areas drained by a river and its tributaries. The watershed refers to the highland area which separates two or more rivers or two river basins. The river regime refers to the seasonal changes in the volume of water in a river in a year. Confluence of a river refers to the meeting point of two different rivers. Tributaries are smaller rivers or streams that join together to form a larger one. Distributaries are channels formed by the division of a river as it flows into the sea. River energy refers to the velocity of a river. The efficiency of a river to erode and transport the eroded materials depends very much on its velocity. Factors affecting the velocity of a river. 1. The volume of water released. The higher the volume of water released by a river, the higher the velocity. The slope of the river valley. The steeper the slope, the higher the velocity of the water in the river. 3. Shape of the river valley. A river uses more energy to flow through a flat wide valley than through a narrow deep valley, because the former has a large surface area. 4. Amount and size of materials. The greater the speed of a river, the greater the materials or loads it can carry or move. Stages of a river. The entire length, valley, or course of a river is divided into three main parts or stages. 1. The upper or mountain course. This is called the youthful stage. It marks the beginning or source of a river. It is found around highland areas. It has steep sides. The dominant river flows swiftly down the steep slope. The second is the middle or valley course stage. The middle stage has the following features. 1. Wide V-shaped valley. 2. Meander. 3. Level cliff and slip-off slopes. 4. Interlocking flow. The main work of the river is the position of materials. There is active lateral erosion. Increase in volume of the river occurs in this type of river due to additional tributaries. The lower or plain course. This is called the old stage. This stage has the following features. 1. Floodplain. 2. Leaves. 3. Oxblood. Take 2. 3. Oxbow Lake. This is a feature of the lower course of a river. It occurs in marshy areas. It has hole shape with a shallow convex bank and a deep concave bank. It is also called bayous or cutoffs. Examples of oxbow lakes are found in Mississippi and Mekong. The upper course. Its characteristics have already been mentioned below. For the processes of river erosion, we have 4 processes. 1. Hydraulic action. 2.
corrosion. 3. Attrition. 4. Solution. The hydraulic action is a process where fast-flowing water forces itself into cracks and cavities within the valley under pressure and enlarges the cracks. For corrosion, this is the wearing away of the sides and floor of the river valley with the aid of sand, pebbles, silts, and boulders which are being transported. Attrition is the wearing down of the load as they collide with one another and with the floor and sides of the valley. Solution refers to the chemical action of water on materials it comes in contact with while flowing. Here, rock salts are dissolved and carried away in solution. Here is a river source from mouth. This picture explains a little bit of what we are talking about. Features of upper course of a river. 1. The V-shaped valley. 2. The gorge. 3. The river capture. 4. Rapids and cataracts. 5. Waterfall. The V-shaped valley is formed as a result of vertical corrosion or erosion of the river. The gorge is formed due to the deepening and narrowing of the river as a result of vertical erosion. River capture is also called river piracy or river beheading. This occurs when a river, through headward erosion, flows into a water divide and cuts off the headwater of another weaker river. 5. Waterfall. The waterfall is formed when a bar of resistant rock lies across a river valley. Importance of waterfall. Waterfall is very important for the generation of hydroelectricity. It can also serve as tourist center, which could be called tourism. The characteristics of the middle course include 1. Wide V-shaped valley. 2. Meander. 3. River cliff and slip-up slopes. 4. Interlocking spur. The wide V-shaped valley occurs as a result of lateral corrosion which has become more dominant than vertical corrosion. The river banks widen to produce a wide V-shaped valley. Meander results when rivers are unable to flow straight because of low gravity. River cliff and slip-up slopes is the face of a rock standing steeply on the bank of a river. Interlocking spur. This refers to the portion of the valley wall which projects from both sides of the concave bends of the river as it meanders. The characteristics of the middle course. 1. Lateral erosion is dominant over vertical erosion, resultant in widening of the valley. 2. Increase in the volume of water due to addition of more water from tributaries. 3. Increase in the load of the river. 4. The work of the river is mainly transportation with little deposition. Processes of river transportation. 1. Solution. 2. Suspension. 3. Saltation. 4. Traction. Take 2. The processes of river transportation include 1. Solution. Some rock materials dissolve in water and are carried in solution. 2. Suspension. Here, the lighter particles of solid materials are carried in suspension as the water flows. 3. Saltation. In this process, larger particles are moved in series of hops or jumps along the stream bed. 4. Traction. In this process, very large fragments of materials are rolled or pushed along the river. Here are the characteristics of the lower course of a river. 1. The main work is the position of materials. 2. There is active lateral erosion. 3. Increase in volume of the river due to additional tributaries. 4. There is lowering of the gradient of the valley flow. 5. There is drastic reduction in the speed of the river. The features are 1. The floodplain. The features are 1. The floodplain. 2. Leaves. 3. Oxbow Lake. 4. Braided River. The floodplain occurs during annual or sporadic floods. Materials carried by rivers are evenly spread over the low-lying adjacent areas. The leaves occur as the river flows. It continues to deposit sediments and It continues to deposit sediments and materials on its bank when it is in flood, thereby raising the bank upwards and higher than usual. The Oxbow Lake is formed in the lower course of a river where there is pronounced meanders. The Braided River is a river which builds up a complex tangle of channels through the deposition of sandbars on the floor. Types of delta. 1. But first of all, a delta is a fan-shaped alluvial plain formed as a result of deposition of fine materials by a river as it reaches or enters the sea or ocean. The types of delta include 1. Arcuate delta. This consists of both coarse and fine sediments and has the shape of an inverted cone. 2. Bird's foot delta. This delta consists of very fine materials called silt with several main distributaries like the foot of a bird extending into the sea. 3. Estuarine delta. This delta is formed when it is partially submerged in coastal waters and there is a direct flow of water into the sea with little or no sediments. Examples of arcuate river Examples of arcuate delta is found in Niger, the Nile. Examples of bird's foot delta include the Mississippi Delta and the Imo River Delta, and the Omo River Delta in Ethiopia. Example of estuarine delta is the Amazon, the Vistula in Russia, and the Seine in France deltas. River rejuvenation. A river is said to be rejuvenated when it is given a new lease of life or being young again. This happens when the base level of the river falls, either because the land is uplifted or because the level of the sea falls. Drainage pattern. The types of drainage pattern include 1. Dendritic drainage pattern. In this type, the tributaries called the subsequent rivers join the main river called the consequent rivers at oblique angle. It is a tree-like structure. The tree-like drainage pattern is formed due to the alternative layers of hard and soft rocks resulting in the tributaries following the pattern of the rock structure and a right angle to the main river in form of rectangular shape. The radial drainage pattern occurs as a result of when streams or tributaries flow outward and downward hill, and downhill from a dome or volcanic cone, and thus give rise to radial drainage pattern, just like the spokes of a bicycle wheel. Importance of rivers to man. It serves as a medium of transportation. 2. It helps in generation of hydroelectric power. 3. It provides water for irrigation purposes. 4. It provides water for domestic and industrial purposes. 5. Formation of floodplain by rivers also provide fertile soil for agricultural activities.